This is Julie Green. If you're unfamiliar, she claims to be a prophet of God, and she says some absolutely off-the-wall stuff. She's the official campaign prophet of the Doug Mastriano campaign, gubernatorial campaign for governor of Pennsylvania. And oh my God, has she said some wacky stuff. Just listen to this one clip, mid-August 2022. This is the clip that really put her on my radar. Check this out.
They know Nancy can't handle the presidency. No. They know she's a drunk. But they know she is dying. And they helped with that.
Who is they, I hear you asking? And the answer is the cabal. That's right. Julie Green is a QAnoner. Deep, deep QAnoner. They
are now disposing of anyone they feel is no longer useful to them.
I love that, Kate. Useful to them. I love it, dude. I love how she phrases things. It's great.
Her days are coming to an end, and she will not last until the 2020 midterm elections.
Wow, that's awfully specific. So, again, if you remember, she's a prophet of God. The information that she's giving us right now, let me tell you how she sets this up. I actually watched one of her prophecy videos on the 27th of September on my main channel. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But here's basically how she sets her whole thing up. She writes down things she believes came from God, right? Or types it up on her keyboard, and then she reads it out like it's a Bible verse that she's reading.
Good.
Let me show you just a simple example. Look, she's staring down at a screen, right?
You are right on the precipice of it all changing. My church, get ready now.
See, she's reading it like it's a Bible verse.
Don't wait another day. There's an urgency in these words to be ready for what is coming.
Except it's not a normal Bible verse like you'd expect. It's QAnon nonsense, like what we're about to hear.
She'll be visited by the angel of death for her crimes against my nation.
This is Nancy Pelosi again.
And the blood is dripping from her hands. She loves to drink the little children's blood.
That's crazy. That is crazy. What is going through this woman's head? Oh my God.
By drinking this blood, they believe they will receive a longer life. Yes, a true witch she really is.
Actually, she's Catholic. That's neither here nor there. So anyways, this is Julie Green, man. She is out there. Way out there. Well, she gave us a new prophetic declaration recently that is, believe it or not, just as out there as the other stuff we just listened to. Late September 2022 when she laid this down for us. Check this out.
They hate the children because they are Luciferians, they're Baal worshippers. Yes. And that's why they sacrifice children for Baal.
Who is they? Are they in the room with us right now? Who are you talking about? This is called Weasel Words. And what she's doing is basically referring to an ambiguous, amorphous authority that's out there, some secret group that's trying to take you out and hurt you, whatever else. She builds up this whole insane narrative in her head about who these people are and then continues to pump out propaganda and nonsense about them trying to kill Nancy Pelosi and all this crazy unhinged stuff, dude. And they're Baal worshippers and they're Luciferians and they're trying to take kids and oh my God.
Yeah. This is nothing new. You can see that in the Bible. Yeah. Yes, yeah. You can see that in the Bible.
So it may have slipped right past you because they said it real quietly, but she's now mentioned Baal and Moloch, both, which are both gods from the Canaanite pantheon. You may be familiar with the Canaanites from the Bible. The Canaanites were a group of people who lived beside the Jews or near the Jews in the same area around Bible times, and they had their own set of gods that they believed in, just like the Greeks had their set of gods, and the Romans, Zeus and Neptune and Poseidon and all of them, Hermes and whatever else. The Canaanites had their own set of gods too, First and foremost, they had the God who created all other gods. His name was El. And the first 12 gods that he created were known as the Elohim. One of the gods he created was the god of metallurgy, and he went by the name of Yahweh. Of course, the Jews came along and saw that and said, I like that, I'm going to take it. So they took Yahweh as their main man that was going to take care of them. And that's why in the Ten Commandments, there was that whole bit about not worshiping any other gods but him. Remember, he's a jealous God. He doesn't want you worshiping others. There were no other gods, supposedly, but in reality, they were pulling from the Canaanite pantheon. And they reference in the Bible Baal and Marduk and a bunch of others. That's why they're talking about Baal and Marduk and all of the others now, because they're referencing the Canaanite pantheon, whether they realize it or not. Satan didn't exist in the Old Testament. The old Jews didn't have a Satan. That wasn't until way, way, way later. So Julie Green and others refer to Marduk and Baal, which are supposed to be the bad guy gods from the Canaanite pantheon. So anyway, keep listening.
You can see that in the Bible. He was there, and Luciferians, they literally they say they're satanic rituals, and that's the reason why God wants to expose and destroy Washington D.C. because that land was given over to Lucifer, and that's the reason why D.C. is where it is. That was never God's capital. He mentions it more than once. He doesn't want it there. He wants it moved. He wants it destroyed.
Wow. God wants... Okay, if you have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that these people believe that God is in covenant with the United States the same way that God was in covenant with Israel. Now they call America New Israel. I know I've played this like 3 or 4 times already. I just want to give a little bit of context. This is Shane Vaughn, and he really forms out the theology for the most part for the Trump religion, which is largely what this is. It's a Trump religion now. Listen to him explain New Israel and the covenant with Yahweh.
And he wrote down, we are going, he wrote a course, to New Israel, New Israel, New Israel.
Talking about the founding fathers floating over here on the ships.
And when they came off the ship, they didn't plant an American flag. They planted the Christian flag. On the soil they dedicated. George Washington knelt and prayed, dedicated America where the Twin Towers stand or stood. That's where America came into covenant with Yahweh, with God, was where the Twin Towers stand.
So anyway, I'm not going to go into that too far, but the point is these people genuinely believe that the United States is the new Israel. And they go a step further than that by calling Donald Trump the Son of Man, the Christ, the Messiah of New Israel. This is a real cover of a real book by Helgard Muller. That's what these people believe. No joke. And I guess they think that D.C. is supposed, like the seat of government for the United States is supposed to be changed to some other location. Where? Mar-a-Lago, maybe? I don't know where she thinks it should be changed to. So anyways, Julie Green went on this long, emotional talk to Donald Trump. She spoke to him as though she was saying a prayer. Now, she doesn't frame it like it's prayer or anything. That's just my framing, so take that for what you will. But she's receiving divine information from God that she is handing to Donald Trump in this. This is from August 3rd, 2022. Listen to this.
Donald Trump, my son, do not doubt me and do not doubt what I will do for you. I'll protect whom you love, and I'll protect this nation from what you are being told is possible, and it could be the worst case scenarios. This will not happen. I will not allow your enemies to go that far. I know it's hard to imagine less casualties.
She's literally crying over how much she loves Donald Trump. The level of brainwashing at work here is absolutely astounding.
It's hard to imagine less casualties in a situation like this. But I have done this in my word before. My son, go to 2 Chronicles 20 in my written word and read what I did for my people. The enemies fought each other, and none on my side were lost. This is possible. Get in prayer with me. Surround yourselves with people who can pray with authority, who will lead you in the right direction. Donald, you have had people surrounding you who have purposely given you bad advice.
See, and this is their explanation for what happens or why Donald Trump does things that they don't want him to do. In their heads, he's the Messiah. He's the Christ. He's perfect in everything. He knows all the right things to do. He makes all the right decisions. So it can't be him making mistakes. It must be his advisors. It must be the people around him. And if they can just get a message to him, then they know he would correct course. Do they afford that same grace to Joe Biden? You know, maybe he's a good guy. Maybe it's just he's getting bad information. Maybe he thinks that this is the right thing to do for the economy because that's what he was told. But if we just get a message to him that, you know, it's not the right thing, he would change it. He would do something different. They don't give him that. They hate Joe Biden. Literally view him as though he were Satan. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about right here. Televangelist Robin Bullock.
When this fake inauguration took place, the Lord spoke to me a word and said, now the office of the president has been vacated, and there's a jackal sitting in the seat of the president.
They believe him to be a jackal. They believe that he overturned prophecy. There's another example. Listen to this. Robin Bullock, televangelist.
The ground, this so-called administration is actually a regime whose sole purpose is to stop a prophecy from coming to pass.
So the whole bit here is they don't think to themselves, well, maybe Joe Biden just got wrapped up in this. You know, maybe it was just a mistake and he was just like, but he has the power. He's the president now, so maybe he could turn around and fix things to be what I want him to if we just got a message to him. No, that is the grace that they afford to Trump. It's not what they do for Biden. Why? Because Trump is on their side and Biden is the devil. That's basically how they view him. Effectively, Satan, setting out to overturn a prophecy. He's a jackal. That isn't just, I don't like the guy. The language that Bullock and Shane Vaughn and Hank Kunneman and Kenneth Copeland and all the people that I talk about, even Julie Green, the language they use when referring to Trump is prophetic and messianic, and the language they use referring to Biden is evil, Luciferian. He's a jackal. Before we continue, I just wanted to mention something. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check out my Teespring. Or you can check out my Telltale Unfiltered channel. I go through long-form, unhinged sermons from all kinds of people, from Hank Kunneman to Greg Locke to Jehovah's Witnesses. So give it a look. Links are in the description. Okay, now back to the video. So let's keep listening to what Julie Green here has to say, the message she wants to deliver from God to Trump, as if God couldn't deliver the message himself.
You have had people surrounding you who have purposely given you bad advice. Some know they are sent there to sabotage you. I will reveal the ones who are left.
Still crying, by the way. I think we're like at least 2 minutes into this clip from her, and she's crying still.
I will tell you who to have near you during this time. My son, it's go time. So go, and I will be with you. I will be with this nation. You are a part of the new United States.
The new United States. Remember the clip I played earlier about the U.S. being in covenant with Yahweh and all that?
I have called you here for this moment. I promise you, my son, I will not fail you. And I will not fail this nation.
So this is supposed to be coming from God. She is telling Donald Trump from God that God is saying he will not fail Donald Trump or the nation. It's weird that she even thinks that that's something God would say. I will not fail you, Donald Trump. Is that weird to anybody else? It feels blasphemous, honestly.
I love you beyond what you could have imagined. Everything stolen, everything lost, you are about to get back in multiplication. My son, beyond your wildest dreams, I will restore and give back more. I will shield your family, and no one will touch them. I have my angel army surrounding you.
Wow, so this came out August 3rd, I think, right? Yeah, August 3rd. This was 5 days before Mar-a-Lago was searched by the FBI. And did you hear what she just said?
I will shield your family, and no one will touch them.
Ooh, ouch. Wow. That's 5 days before they searched Barron Trump's bedroom for classified documents. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't like the FBI being forced into a position by Donald Trump that they even needed to search a kid's room. But, you know, if Donald Trump hadn't stolen classified documents in the first place, then they wouldn't have had to have done something like that. That's neither here nor there. Donald Trump made every part of this happen, but it feels to me like this prophecy was proven wrong 5 days later.
I have my angel army surrounding you and your family in this time.
And how'd that go? How'd that work out for old Mr. Trump 5 days later? That go okay for him?
So go and do what I have called you to do, and I will be with you, my son. Thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you for your obedience. Thank you for trusting me, despite what you have seen and what your enemies have tried to do to break you. I will break them and all their plans. This is that time. I will give you peace and rest you have never known. When you sleep, I will come to you and tell you what to do.
Wait, God's going to come to Donald Trump in his sleep and tell him what to do? Then why does he need you, right? Aren't you supposed to be the communicator for God? Does that mean that Donald Trump is a prophet now? This is weird.
I am here, and I will always be here for you, my son. Saith the Lord of hosts.
Oh my God, this is weird. This woman has problems that the most skilled therapist on planet Earth couldn't solve. This is insane. So she puts out another prophetic whatever the other day, right? September 21st. And she had some wacky stuff to say then too. Pretty much every prophetic word she releases is wacky as they come. And as a matter of fact, if you want to see the whole prophetic word, I'm going to be talking about it on my main channel on Tuesday, September 27th. So come check it out. I'm just going to give you a couple of snippets at this moment. Listen to what she had to say here.
Moves are being made. Oh yes, an army is marching toward your capital to take this nation. They have all been caught red-handed, even the big fish.
An army is marching toward the capital as we speak, she says. How long does it take for an army to reach the capital? Where are they coming from? How big is the army? How are they being supplied? How have we not detected the army? I mean, we've got people all over the place just driving around all willy-nilly. How have they managed to mobilize and move across large distances in presumably military gear, tanks and Humvees and all that, without being detected? Did she mean figuratively? Why say it in the first place if that's what she meant? It seems to me she obviously meant a literal army is traveling across the nation to D.C. And if you think that's a little far-fetched, you haven't watched the last 20 minutes of this video that I've been doing.
Oh yes, an army is marching toward your capital to take this nation. They have all been caught red-handed, even the big fish.
So everybody who supposedly in her head cheated in the election has been caught red-handed, and an army is marching across the country to Washington, D.C. to kick Biden out of the White House right now is what she's saying. This is September 21st when this came out, 2022.
They have been waiting for. Every piece needed to gather evidence for every person involved for the destruction of this nation has been completed. They have it all. All the right people that I have put here, will expose all the infiltrators, and they are moving in to make more arrests in order
Okay, I don't know what these subtitles are all about, but they're wrong. It says to make more rice. What? I don't know who wrote these, but it wasn't me.
to make more arrests, in order to hand out all the indictments and to serve justice to those who unlawfully took over this nation.
Okay, wow, that's a lot. So she's saying all of the people who took part in Biden's inauguration and election and everything else are going to be arrested. And there is currently actively right now an army moving on Washington, D.C. to arrest Joe Biden, to take him into custody and replace him with Donald Trump. That's what she just said, right? And she's a prophet of God, the official campaign prophet of the Doug Mastriano campaign in Pennsylvania. You know what the Bible says about false prophets, right?
Watch, O United States, how I, the Lord, am delivering you from the hands of the wicked and from the Biden.
And from the Biden. I'm watching. I got my eyes peeled. I'm sitting here watching intently. Let's see it. Make it happen. Do it.
And Obama at the helm. The truth and all the proof is coming.
Fantastic. When it's produced, I will believe you. Simple as that. That is all I need. That's all I've ever needed. But guess what? We're almost 2 years out now, and I'm still waiting for the proof. When are you going to produce it? Every day that we sit here waiting for the proof, they laugh at us for not believing them. Let's have it.
It's coming quickly.
Great. Here's another one. Here's just one little excerpt from this same thing, September 21st.
Another Clinton secret and scandals are about to be exposed, and it will explode in the airwaves. A whistleblower is coming, and this will not be held back, suppressed, or ignored.
Okay, cool. So a whistleblower is going to come forward that's going to blow the lid off of everything related to the Clintons, right? Why are we even still talking about the Clintons? They aren't involved in politics. And it won't be suppressed or ignored when it comes. Awesome. That's what I need. Proof. In 2 months, if this doesn't happen, can we call you a false prophet then? This is the trick. She never actually gives us a timeline. They never do. None of these supposed prophets give us timelines. Or if they do, when the time comes and then goes, they just extend it out and say, I misheard, my mistake. Or God didn't actually tell me a timeline in the first place, even though they already named one specifically. This is how it works every single time. At the beginning of this video, she made a claim that Nancy Pelosi is going to die before the midterm elections of 2022. Now that's a specific timeline, right? If it doesn't happen, can we call her a false prophet? We could have called her a false prophet a long time ago, comfortably, for all the stuff she's prophesied that didn't come true. But for some reason, people still follow her, not least of which is Doug Mastriano, of all people. Absolutely insane, man. When are people going to wake up to this nonsense? Blows my mind that anybody believes what she has to say. If you disagree with anything I've said in this video, let me know in the comments or on Twitter @TelltaleAtheist. In fact, let me know if you agreed.